White Noise Metal
with that BS dude, Brian Shields.
Welcome to White Noise Metal. I'm that BS dude, Brian Shields, and today I have the privilege of being joined here by Matt Heafy of Trivium, one of my real musical heroes out there. Trivium, Between the Buried and Me, Shadows Fall, my three favorite bands in the world. So it's a real privilege to have been able to get to know them and to interview them over this past year. Now, over the course of 4 studio albums, Ember to Inferno, Ascendancy, The Crusade, and most recently Shogun, Trivium has established a signature musical sound. It's thrash-based, it features Matt and Corey Bewley's dueling lead guitars, Paolo Gregoletto's bass lines, and Travis Smith's powerful drumming, and it's really a sound that I never tire of. But for most bands, that would be enough, because frankly, with metal, lyrics aren't all that important for a lot of bands, but not true for this guy here and for Trivium. In my opinion, he's one of the great masters in the use of the English language, creating lyrics that expand vocabularies, create great visual messages, and most importantly, really, offering a consistent message of hope and unity while keeping a critical eye on the world's challenges. So today on White Noise Metal, we're going to talk with Matt about some of those lyrics and learn more about his writing process and inspiration. So thanks a lot for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about process first. When you sit down to write lyrics, is it after the music? Is it before the music? What's the process like?
As I can remember, for the first 4 records we did, it was always music first, and then I wrote the lyrics on top of music. But lately, I've been able to write lyrics as more of like a poetry style, and then I've been pairing it to the music that we've had, because we've got about 30 songs written for our next record already. And I've just been writing constant lyrics. We've been having a lot of stuff going on, whether in the band or in life, and then that's good, because there's so many bands that everything is so positive. I mean, a lot of our negative stuff is for the sake of being positive, more of like use of therapy than other than just being like an angry song. But also the bands that it's all positive and all strength stuff, it's like you can't just get there. You have to work towards that positivity. So definitely the lyrics on this next one, they've been powerful enough where I didn't need music to create the lyrics at all. So this time I've been doing some lyrics first and then some music first, but before it's always been music first, then lyrics.
And where do you get your inspiration?
Everything. Anything from current events to social issues to what's been going on in my life to everything. I just try to write about anything and everything that's directly around me. Something that will mean something to me and to people that read it. Yeah.
So, you really can tell that over the course of your career, the way that you've taken everything from things that are deeply personal, from almost, sort of the traditional love song thing, all the way to stories in the news.
Yep, yeah. Everything. As long as it means something to me so I can back it, it can't just be something I kind of feel something about. Let's be intense.
Excellent. So let's go all the way back to the beginning, to Ember to Inferno, and I think lyrically, to me, the song that really stands out is the title track on
When I was writing it, it was kind of like the vision and the mission statement behind the band. I know it was our first record, but it really showed all our goals and everything in there. In Birth, Just an Ember, a spark of creation. It would just start off as an idea that we wanted to create was something big. And with every record we've ever had, the album titles have been directly reflective of what's been going on with our band at that point in time. And so the idea was to go from that nothingness to something special. And so we didn't know when or how or if, but we knew we wanted it, and that was our goal. So that's what the song was about. It was about creating that vision of ourselves and to really go for it.
And that's really been kind of a lyrical theme throughout your career, is this idea of fire, of spark, of...
Yeah, it has. I don't know why. There's a lot of fire in there. There's usually a lot of like ocean and water stuff in there as well. I'm not really a beach guy, nor am I a pyromaniac, so I don't really know what that's all about.
And the stuff on Emperor, I mean, I don't mean to be condescending, but how old were you when you were writing that stuff?
16, 17.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I joined Trivium at 12/13 years old, and I got into metal at 11, or metal at 12. I got into guitar at 11, metal at 12, Trivium at 12, 13. And so it was my first real band, my first real job, and I knew right away that's what I wanted to do when I was older. And, you know, now, 11 years later, I'm still doing the same thing. And it's definitely gotten way bigger and way better. I mean, never in my high school days when I was listening to Perseverance every single day did I think we'd be doing a co-headlining show with Heafy for 2 nights in a row in California. So, I mean, it's like, stuff definitely is going the right way. We're not satisfied at all. We're not content. I mean, we love what we're doing, but we know there's so much more to go.
Let's move on a little bit to Ascendancy, because I think that's really where we start to hear your real mastery of the language, I think. And I want to start with Gunshot to the Head of Trepidation. And I just love that word, trepidation. You know, it's so exquisite, it's so precise, it's more than caution, it's somewhat less than fear. And then that image of a gunshot to it. I mean, it's a song that I read, it's about domestic violence, right? It's about standing up against somebody who's being tyrannical.
Exactly.
Feed their bellies with fear and death. Conducted them through the brain. Witness to another. Your abuse will end right here. No longer will your family bear. I got done to the end of trepidation. I promise if you ever lay a finger.
You know, I was very fortunate that I had a really good childhood. You know, I never had any domestic abuse or whether physical or mental or anything like that. You know, so I definitely was fortunate. But I grew up with a lot of people who did have those problems, and you know, we hadn't started touring yet when I started writing those lyrics. But you know, I've been noticing in the news how it kept. I mean, maybe it's always been bad. Maybe it's just that the media has made it seem worse because we hear about it more because there's more sources of media outlet nowadays. But I wanted to make something that I want to put myself in first-person perspective of someone going through that, someone who had like an abusive family, an abusive lifestyle, and create something that could be something, I mean, now when I think about it, I don't know what I was thinking exactly then, but now when I think about it, I want it to be there for something comforting for someone. And I've actually met a lot of people who have said, thanks to that song, I was able to read it and realize I'm not the only one, and it helped me get through this. You know, I've actually just talked to someone a couple months ago who was actually dealing with, you know, they were dealing in their head with a lot of the abuse they had through their family as a kid, and like, this song has really helped me out a lot. So that was my big thing. I wanted that to be kind of like the punching bag, you know, or the pillow or the shoulder, or whatever that could be for someone. You know, I've always wanted to, I don't know why I quote want to, but I've always preferred if people that I care about can put the burden off on me so I can try to help them with it. You know, so some people don't want me to, but for the people who do, I can at least do it that way.
I mean, in some ways, that is the role of an artist, isn't it?
I guess so, yeah.